With us in the studio now is Vincent D. Filippo. He's an Atari specialist from the Winter Circle Computer Store in Berkeley, California. And sitting next to Vincent, Jim Kent, the author of Cyber Paint. Gary?
Jim, I think everybody likes the philosophy of Commodore and Atari as far as pricing. You get a lot of computing bang for your buck. What else is it about the Atari that led you to choose that as a platform for your Cyber Paint program?
There were two main things. The 68,000 processor, so I didn't have to deal with strange memory segmentations. And it's color.
Okay. Yeah.
And
so
color is important.
Okay. And as far as Cyber Paint, what does Cyber Paint do?
Cyber Paint is a program useful for animation, video sort of work. It's basically a paint program that lets you paint over lots and lots of frames, and with some special effects on top of that.
Okay, and we're going to take a look at that.
Yeah, show us what you can do with Cyber
I should explain
Paint.
here real quickly.
Yes.
We have two Ataris here. We don't need all this equipment to run Cyber Paint.
Right. There's two separate systems for what's going to come up later. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, first I'd just like to show you something someone's done with it. This is animation some people did in France. That's pretty spectacular.
Sort of a robot monster coming out from under the sea, huh?
Yeah.
It walks behind the branch there, too.
Yeah.
Here are your titles coming in. That's a real popular use of Cyber Paint, titling.
So this might be like a movie opening or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So here you've seen it. These are your basic Cyber Paint controls. It's a little bit like a VCR. You can go pop to the first frame, pop to the last. You can go backwards fast, forwards fast, or what's really fun is you can just sort of wiggle this guy and control it directly.
That shows you the frame number there at the bottom.
Yes, it does. It's our famous number on the knob slider. So anyway, it's basically a paint system. Let me do a little bit of painting with it. Get a pretty big brush. Make sure I'm in draw, yes. And let's see, let's add some waves to the water.
So you're doing
really silly.
That's all right. So you're doing some real-time work here.
Yeah.
And you're going to give us a little oil spill there, is that it?
Hopefully not.
Okay.
So the red showed you the last frame then?
Yes.
So you can kind of use that as a basis for your...
Okay, so that's your reference point. You're laying on frame after frame.
And of course it would take a while to do 151 frames.
Right.
But anyways, it's blue.
But this could have also been a sequence that you brought in that you prepared using Cyber Paint at another time also.
Yeah, if you'd like to see that. That's one of the main uses of this, actually, and I've got a really amusing animation I wanted to show you, too. Just go here, go load overlay. It brings up the standard Atari file requester. And this is Cyber B done by Maurice Molyneux. This was done in a 3D system. You can see
So you're merging two animations, is that it?
Yes. So you have a little bee that's flapping its wings, rolling around its eyeballs, and going on top of the other one.
So Jim, this is like traditional animation techniques where you paint one frame after the next in sequence, is that correct?
You can do that, but you're not restricted to that. There's a lot of stuff built in to make it much easier for you. One is just this compositing thing. Let me show you something else. Okay, I'm going to cut out a little clip and, excuse me. Okay, and rotate this.
Oh, I see, sure. And that could be then
around,
a set of frames that you'd store in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. So say make it go over 180. And now it takes it a little bit while to compute it right now.
Jim, going back to Gary's question, what are the benefits of doing something like Cyber Paint on the Atari ST? We think of the Amiga as in a similar vein, or even compared to the Macintosh, for example.
Well, the main advantage over a Mac is it's in color and it's cheap.
Right.
The major benefit over an Amiga is that it tends to be a lot more reliable. I've lost so many floppy disks running on an Amiga. I sort of gotten depressed about it.
Well, Vincent, there's a little cartridge right here that says Spectre 128 stuck to the side of this 1040, and also what looks like a Mac screen on that Atari. Can you tell us a little bit what's going on here?
Sure. This is the Spectre 128, and this is our Macintosh emulation for the Atari. I'm in a popular application called HyperCard right now. HyperCard is kind of like a launcher, among other things. It's kind of a language, multiple use. So like, I can just simply click on an item, and voila, I'm in that application. Like this one happens to be like a periodical table, so I can look up
We're
whatever.
familiar with HyperCard. Why don't you tell us about how you're running HyperCard inside the Atari? What's the Spectre 128 doing here?
Okay, the Spectre 128 offers you to hold the Macintosh ROMs, which is the basic Macintosh operating system. And since the Atari and Macintosh are basically the same style processor and whatnot, it was not easily, but easily to do and to make a conversion for it. And since the Atari had the cartridge port, that's what they used to bring the Macintosh ROMs to the Atari operating system.
Are there any restrictions on the use? I mean, some programs don't run, or?
Yes. The programs that tend to run are what are called well-behaved programs, the ones that go through the toolbox. Ones that will not run are usually like games or something like that, where the authors try to go to the hardware to try to get faster screens or better sound, or something like that. Those kind of programs will not run.
When you talk about emulation too, how's the performance of something like HyperCard running on the Atari compared to running it on the Mac in the first place?
How about 20% faster?
Really?
Yes.
And why?
Atari is a faster processor than the Mac Plus.
Well, the price is a lot better too.
You bet.
Now, are there any problems with copyrights and so forth? We all know that Apple is very careful about releasing these things. Do you have any problems with that?
No, because we're actually using actual Mac products. We're not cloning them or copying them or anything like this. There are actual Mac ROMs in the Spectre cartridge.
Okay.
Is there a product out that can do the same thing with the MS-DOS software on the Atari?
Yes, there is. It's a program called PC Ditto. They're coming out with a hardware version to even actually bring it running up at IBM speeds.
Okay, in that case, it is a software emulation currently.
Currently, it's a software emulation.
And how's the performance of that?
The performance on PC Ditto currently right now is like running a 1 megahertz IBM. I mean, you can sleep
So it'd be
between some things.
4 times slower than the
Yes.
earliest PCs.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much.